All right, so a little something different today. I just picked up on Amazon this Lenovo Chromebook. This is the IdeaPad Flex 5i. It's a two-in-one, and it's called the Flex because this screen will fold over to the other side, and you can hold this as a tablet. It's got a touch screen, all that stuff, and it's pretty loaded. I mean, this was only $329, and what you get for that is 8 gigabytes of memory. 256 gig SSD drive. It's a what's it? A Pentium, or I'm sorry, Intel, whatever i3 processor. Way more than I'll ever need for what I use the computer for. Basically, surfing the web, YouTube, StreamYard, eBay. It is Chrome OS, so I'm not going to have Excel and Word and whatever. But I could use that stuff virtually if I really wanted to over with my 365 account, or I could use Google Docs. So either way is fine. So this is my personal sort of device for entertainment and whatever. And I'm doing this for a couple reasons. So here's my work laptop. This is a Gen 9 X1 Carbon. And something happened last year, which kind of put me in a little bit of a bind. I drove over my Gen 6 X1 Carbon by mistake. I was talking to a work colleague, put my briefcase down by my tire, and forgot it was there, got in the car and drove over it. And I had to basically rely on my phone for email until they sent me like a temporary, this really old laptop I had to use. It was a dog. And I used that for like a couple of weeks. And I got a brand new X1 like within like 10 days or so, but it came with Windows 10. I'm sorry, Windows 11, and that was a complete disaster. It kept freezing on me. I ultimately had to send it back, and so that took like another week to turn around this model which came with Windows 10, and it's been great ever since. But I feel like I need to have a redundancy should that ever happen again. I'm not planning on it. So there's one reason. The other reason too is there's a good possibility I'm going to change jobs later this year, and at which point I'll have to return this computer. So I kind of want to have something already going on in the background that I could just ease into and keep things going on my end personally, and I have to rely on a work laptop to do that. So, but I think it's a great device. I mean, I come about $300 for this, and compared to this guy, which you got all your productivity software, your antivirus, and all this other stuff you're going to need. And this one would probably cost close to like, I don't know, 2,000. I don't know. Whatever they go for. It's the X1 Carbon, and this is the Gen 9. One thing I do like about this, way better than this guy, is this trackpad is so much smoother than whatever material this is using for this one. But again, it's maybe cheaper components. I get it. I like these a lot here. They're lacking here, obviously. But I do have a wireless mouse. You see, I could plug in, and I could swap these back and forth, which basically mitigates all those issues I have with the touchpad. But yeah, so this is a great device. Also, it'll serve a purpose, in long car rides for the kids. I can flip this thing over into like tent mode or whatever and prop it up on the center console. And I've got, Disney Plus and YouTube and HBO Max and whatever those kid shows, they're into. We could just play those and over the wireless hotspot. I thought it's a really, really cool device. From as far as ports are concerned, I mean, plenty for what I'm doing. But you've got USB, the USB-C, high-speed 2.0, whatever. There's no HDMI out. There's an SD card reader there. But if you need HDMI, then you could just get one of those cable adapters. This also it doesn't have very many ports, but it has one HDMI, as you can see there. So there you go. This one is non-touchscreen. The battery life on this is great. Again, I don't abuse these things. How much battery power and processing power do you need to look at Outlook, email, and whatever? I mean, there is some Windows-based software specific to my job that I need on this computer that won't run on this. But again, that's not the point of this. So I would say 98% of my laptop requirements are eBay, YouTube, Amazon, and streaming stuff. And I think this is great. So yeah, like $329, and it might be a Lenovo. I'm sorry, an Amazon exclusive. It's no longer on the Lenovo website. I think the newer model they offer is the 3i, but it has a 15-inch screen, so it's bigger. And I prefer the smaller screen. This one's a 14-inch screen, and it's 16:10 ratio, which it's a little bit taller. This is 16:9, full HD at 1920, whatever that is. It's an IPS panel, so it has a glossier look. To this one's a little more matte finish, or a matte look to it. This X1 Carbon, and you got the 720p camera here, and this one also is 720p. So. Again, but this is going to be 5x plus the price of this. So if you're looking for just a simple sort of internet device, but you don't want to fork over the dollars for a full-fledged computer, and I think it helps if you have an Android phone and already familiar with Chrome and that sort of thing, then I think this is a great value here. Very good reviews, and I think for the price it can't be beat. So yeah, so that's it. That'll do it. Coming up next for me probably is going to be a new episode of Friday Night Vintage featuring Pete Rose. I got a handful of new vintage pickups to talk about there. So until then, yeah, talk to you next time.